this is going to be episode 3, and yeah, we were a little bit stuck last time, but that's just because I'm stupid. I never saw that for some reason. I don't know how I didn't see that, but whatever. We're not gonna worry about that right now. All right, so I think we have a couple. Let's see, we got what, 3? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a few more characters. We should be just about there. So we are going to go through the store.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
Lewis, that's him.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Cute little classroom.
But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
What's up, guys? How you doing today? Appreciate you coming and hanging out with me on our third and hopefully final episode of What Remains of Edith Finch. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool, actually. It's genius.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
It's a pretty cool little flip book. It's a lot of pages.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Let's turn this volume down just a little bit. This should be good.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
This family really is kind of special. Is there anything else? Nope. Looks like that was it. Okay.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Nothing this way. Okay.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
What else is around here? Oh. See? So just pay attention, Christian. It's still a little loud. We're gonna turn that down. There we go.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Of course. That's trippy. That's cool, actually. That's really cool. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Nice little hint. I can dig that.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander.
Oh.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
This is pretty interesting. I like this. For you guys that haven't played this, I am using my left stick to control the little game, and my right stick controls what
on the
my
edge of a city
fish hand
named
does.
Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him. At all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor.
This is kind of cool.
And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Okay, a little bit of a break. Alright.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a
beautiful prince or handsome queen? I'm thinking of
handsome queen.
That's trippy. That's really trippy.
The queen was on her own quest for
You can pick your own adventure, I like it.
radiant rainbows. He followed the sound of her
Let's go with the guitar.
electric sitar. His
These are
chase
pretty
led him to a
interesting.
golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Oh. Alright.
Began to forget the world we know.
Oh, this is dope.
I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
That's so cool. That's me right there. That's so cool.
I still thought I could save him. Even
so
after he
cool.
said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
Those are weird. What are they supposed to be?
Including the wise Calico who'd
Okay.
insisted on advising him.
What's up, guys? How you doing today? Let me know if the music's too loud or if the dialogue's too loud over me. I can always turn that down. I have a feeling it is pretty loud right now. But it's a good soundtrack, so we'll see. But if you guys have any issues, don't be afraid
His
to let me
queen
know.
waited, holding his crown.
How's your guys' weekend today?
There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
Oh, this is a guillotine. I know what this is. What? This is a guillotine. You're gonna kill me. Why? What did I do to you?
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Oh, maybe he committed suicide. I think he committed suicide, actually.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Wow, that was pretty damn deep. San Juan Ale. Wonder if he ever made it. I think he did.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left.
Why?
My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
Oh.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
Oh, there's Edith.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Okay.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance, or that Edie had a key to it.
What's up, guys? How you doing? Thanks for coming and chilling with me. Just working on the last little bit of what remains of Edith Finch.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories.
Wow.
I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out.
Interesting.
It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around.
Well, shit.
I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me.
Wow.
Or maybe I came back to them.
Still works. Wow. That's some good craftsmanship right there.
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone.
Dang.
After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it.
Anybody do this as a kid? I still do it, and I'm 23
A few
almost.
years went by.
Shit's fun.
My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you.
Ooh.
I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this.
I'm the baby.
If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is.
Whoa. Are we being born? Oh, we're being
This
born.
journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
Oh.
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Oh. Well, that was sad. Good ending, but wow, that was sad. That was really sad. What a good game, though, guys. Oh, it's not over yet. Oh, yeah, it is. That's credits. Wow, guys, what a game. We're gonna keep watching this and see what kind of pictures we can see. Looks like it was basically a... Oh, these are all baby photos. I see. That's cute. Everybody's got one of those photos. What's the most embarrassing kid's photo you've ever seen of yourself? I have one. I was chilling in a laundry basket when I was like 2. Shit was hilarious. What a good game. That was very impressive. 10 out of 10, not gonna lie. That was a really good game. Would highly recommend if you guys have PS4 right now. It is for free with PSN. I would highly recommend downloading it if you haven't already. This game is pretty awesome. It's pretty deep. The controls are a little weird at times, but you know what? That's what makes the game a little bit better, in my opinion. I'll have to look and see what the price is. I want to say this game's probably only about 20, 25 bucks So if you don't have PS4, you could probably get it on other platforms. I haven't seen if you can, or if it is just a PS4 exclusive. I don't think it is. I would assume not. But yeah, guys, like I said, I would definitely check this out. I highly recommend this game if you're into puzzle and adventure games. If you're into good story games, single player stories, if you're into any of that stuff, I would highly, highly recommend you download this for yourselves and play it. Because that was a beautiful game, amazing. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about it. Just kind of looking at these pictures of all of the people who worked on the game. It's a piece of work, guys. You guys did an awesome job on this game. Kudos to you. Kudos to the developers, the animators, storyline, all of it. And I just, yeah. Kudos to everybody that worked on this game. Game was impressive. I'm glad I got the chance to play it. Annapurna. Yeah, Annapurna. Shout out to you guys. Amazing game, guys. This is a long credits reel. But whatever. There might be some. Oh. That's kind of cool. I can replay the story, see if I missed anything. Probably did, knowing my luck. The soundtrack on this was pretty amazing too. Not gonna lie. The music, I really didn't want to turn the music down, but it was probably a little loud for you guys. But the puzzles, the music, the score, the puzzles, the gameplay, the storyline, all of it was superb. I would definitely recommend this if you haven't played it already. And a little tip, try not to look into much of like how to do it. Try to do it yourself. I know that's kind of hard with games like these sometimes. Actually, I admit I did have to look up one and see how to do it, but I would definitely recommend trying to do it yourself. It gives you that more of adventure feeling. It definitely worth a play, guys. Looks like I got everybody. So I guess that's it. There might be some other achievements maybe I can get, but I think, guys, honestly, thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for hanging out with me yesterday playing this game. Glad we got to finish it for you. I hope you enjoyed, and please don't forget to give us a follow if you enjoyed the video. And yeah, have a good rest of your day, guys, and have a good rest of your weekend. Thank you.